Hey guys, Austin here, and welcome to today's video where I will be talking about the Oilers' back-to-back losses to the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames this weekend. For those of you who are maybe new to the channel and for returning viewers, normally I do what's called a day after episode where I talk about the previous Oilers game the day after, and they're usually very formal with a variety of topics that I talk about and discuss that aren't usually part of the regular post-game recaps or debriefs, as I like to call them. In today's video, I decided to just combine the day after episodes that I normally would have made into one condensed weekend recap video for you, since the Oilers did play a back-to-back. If you are an Oilers fan and you want to see daily Oilers content, you are in the right place, so make sure you like the video and maybe even subscribe as we continue to build a terrific community here in 2024. Now, on to the main topics that I'll be discussing in today's video. The first main topic will be poor starts. The second one will be Chris Knobloch's line juggling. The third topic will be goaltending. The fourth topic will be defensive structure or lack thereof. And then I'll have my closing thoughts and outro. So, first things first, poor starts. The Oilers, since the All-Star break ended, have led for a total of 104 minutes per natural stat trick, and they've trailed for over 242 minutes, which is third worst in the entire league, and they are now 4-5-1 in their last 10 games. So regression was expected after the 16-game win streak, but better efforts and a full 60-minute game would go a long way in preventing this type of regression, in my opinion. Edmonton seems to come out flat. They fall behind. Second periods have been a disaster for the team for the most part since the All-Star break. The penalty kill has not been great. It's been getting a little better, but it hasn't been great. And then in the third period, they go, oh, we're down 2 or 3 goals. We should really push now. And it worked out for them a little bit during the 16-game win streak. They had some third-period comebacks. And then even post-All-Star break, they've had a couple third-period comebacks as well. One against Arizona, one against Detroit that I can think of off the top of my head. It would just be nice if Edmonton could come out, grab a lead early, and then hold on to it. So that brings me into the second topic. Chris Knobloch's line juggling. He's caught in the Woodcroft and Dave Tippett and Todd McClellan trap of loading Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and throwing everything into the blender after every period since the win streak ended. We need more consistency. Why are we not going with the lines that seem to work well? We had Nuge, McDavid, Hyman as the first line, Fogle, Draisaitl, McLeod as the second line, Kane, Holloway, Perry as the third line, and then Janmark, Ryan, and Brown as the fourth line, with Gagne kind of in and out of the lineup. The line juggling is getting out of control for me. Every game, it's a new lineup. Every period, there's new line combinations. The guys are being moved up and down the lineup all over the place. It's up and, as Ken Holland would say, up and down like a toilet seat. That's what's going on with a lot of the players, especially on the wings. I know he's trying to find consistency right now, but oh my goodness, every coach before Chris Knobloch used to do this. And Chris Knobloch, I was so happy for the longest time because he seemed to stick to a lineup, and he would only ever put McDavid and Draisaitl together if it was at the end of a penalty kill and he's trying to take advantage of a third or fourth line shift from the opposition, or if you're down by 1 goal and you need a spark in the third period, you put them together quickly, as that is kind of something you can do. However, he has been playing them way too much together recently, and when teams shut down Draisaitl and McDavid on the same line, well, they shut down pretty much the whole team because the rest of the lineup does not pull their weight in terms of goal scoring and depth. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite players. He does not really produce without Draisaitl or McDavid on his wing. And the bottom 6 in general, yes, Janmark has 3 goals in his last 4 games. That's awesome. Fogle was performing well when he was with Draisaitl. McLeod was performing well when he was with Draisaitl. But when Fogle and McLeod are on their own lines, when McLeod centers his own lines, specifically, there's not a lot of production going on. There's not a lot of play driving going on. And I just don't know. Dylan Holloway, he's been playing pretty good hockey for the most part, and I'd like to see him get more ice time. I'd like to see him get a shot in the top 6 every now and then. And some of the ice time allocation has also been strange. There have been numerous games where guys like Derek Ryan, Sam Gagne, Corey Perry the other night only played 7 or 8 minutes, played less minutes than Connor Brown, which is, I get that Connor Brown is on the penalty kill, but the line shuffling is just, it's too much, man. Knobloch, he's got to get a lineup and he's got to stick to it. I just want to see him stick to it for a few games, unless obviously it's just not working like at all and you have no choice but to change some players in and out. But in terms of just why he has changed the line since the 16-game win streak, I'm not sure. Maybe he had ideas during the 16-game win streak, but he didn't want to ruin chemistry. He didn't want to ruin what was going on because it was historic and you don't want to mess with a good thing. But now I think he's over-tweaked things a little bit, and I think he's in his own head. So Chris Knobloch's just got to get back to the basics here and just calm down with the line shuffling. As I mentioned in my in a previous video, he has the blender going more than a bodybuilder has a blender going with his protein shakes. Chris Knobloch's line blending is out of control. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Edmonton's goaltending. This is going to sound bad, but on the weekend, I made a video. I was like, the Oilers, they don't need a goaltender. And if you were to try and acquire a number one elite goaltender, then you'll have to trade Stuart Skinner, and that's bad. I still think trading Skinner is not the right play, but I do think we do need a goaltender, and I may have jumped the gun a little bit on saying that we didn't need a goalie. So the Oilers have not given up less than 3 goals in any game since the All-Star break. They have not had a save percentage of .900 or better in any of the games since the All-Star break. Stuart Skinner has started in 40 out of the 55 games this year for the team. Get him some help, for the love of God. In all situations since the All-Star break, the team has an .853 save percentage and a PDO of .960. This is October hockey all over again. The Oilers' metrics aren't necessarily terrible, but they are being undone by poor goaltending right now, and the poor goaltending is playing into the poor starts. When the team doesn't come out with a lot of jump, you want your goaltender to be able to make a couple saves, maybe a goalie making a big save early in a game when you don't have the jump that you need to get going. Maybe sometimes a big save can spark your team, and the Oilers haven't been able to get that, in my opinion. That leads me to defensive structure or lack thereof. The Oilers' defensive structure, oh my God. This reminds me of October and November hockey before Jay Woodcroft was fired. There are guys constantly pointing all over the ice, trying to communicate, trying to tell defenders and forwards, wingers, centermen where to go, where to cover. And if Edmonton is hemmed in their own zone for more than 10, 15 seconds, just watch some replays of some goals against recently. They are running all over the place. It's like they don't know where they're supposed to be. Bob Stauffer mentioned that they're playing zone defense, and that's what Woodcroft had them playing. But it doesn't even look like zone defense to me. It looks like it's man on man, but then they kind of get confused on which man they're supposed to cover once they've been in their own zone for about 20 seconds. So I'm not quite sure what's going on the defensive side of the game. I don't know if this is a Paul Coffey thing. I don't know if this is a Chris Knobloch thing, but the defensive structure, especially since the 16-game win streak ended, has been porous. The chances that they've been giving up, yeah, you'd like a save, but some of those chances, man, it's like, what are we doing? The breakaways, the 2-on-1s, guys open in the slot, giveaways in the neutral zone, the not being able to make an outlet pass, trying to clear the zone and you can't clear it, puck off the glass and not even out. It's too much right now. And the games against Minnesota and Calgary, I think the defensive structure was very, very exposed. Not so much against Minnesota. Minnesota was very opportunistic. Minnesota was a game where you would have liked a couple more saves. The game against the Calgary Flames, though, that first and second period, the Oilers defensively were just not, the attention to detail was not there. But that's pretty much my main talking points from the weekend recap. So my closing thoughts are the team needs to be better at starting games. I would love to see them come out and push the pace early and get out to a lead and then hold on to a lead. Chris Knobloch needs to just calm down a little bit with the line juggling. I still like him as a head coach, but he is getting on my nerves. The goaltending, we really need to get a save here. And if we're running with Skinner and Pickard, get Skinner some help. You got to make an upgrade here at some point, because I like 853 save percentage and a 960 PDO. That's not going to continue long term. However, it's hurting the team right now. And I don't want to say Skinner is burnt out, but he has started 40 out of the 55 games this season for the team. That's a lot. For a guy in his second year, I mean, you would expect a veteran to be able to start that amount. But for Skinner, he's shown that he has these 10 or 15 game segments where he turns to Swiss cheese, and then he'll have 10 or 15 games later where he's just incredible. He's a top goalie in the NHL. He's an all-star Calder finalist. I think Skinner is somewhere in the middle as a goaltender. I don't think he's quite all-star level, and I don't think he's quite bottom of the league league, obviously. I think he's somewhere in the middle. He's someone that you can win with. You just need to play a little bit better in front of him. And then the defensive structure, as I mentioned, that plays into just playing better in front of your goaltender. Get the goal scoring rate down against, start producing more a little bit up front, help the top six out. That's kind of my thoughts here. What did you guys think about the games against Minnesota and Calgary? What are your general thoughts on the Edmonton's poor starts, Chris Knobloch, the goaltending, and the defensive structure? I want to know everything that you think down in the comment section below. I do read every comment. If there's any questions you want to ask me, totally go for it. I love reading them and answering them, as long as they're respectful, of course. But that's pretty much it for me. If you like today's video and you want to see more, make sure you hit like. If you really liked it, make sure you hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Thanks for watching.